We got a new report around the 2024 NFL Draft as all signs are starting to point to the New England Patriots sticking at that number 3 pick and selecting a quarterback. What does that mean for the Minnesota Vikings? Does that affect their ability to trade up in this year's draft? We'll talk about it on today's show, but my name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. And we got this report yesterday from Adam Schaefter that I want to start off today's show as he says this. He says, I think the signs continue to point to Jayden Daniels being the second overall pick at number 2, Caleb Williams 1, Jayden Daniels 2, and then the New England Patriots would be on the clock at number 3 with the possibility of taking Drake Maye. And it gets me to this. I think all signs are starting to point that when draft night comes around here in 3 weeks, J.J. McCarthy, the Michigan quarterback, will be selected by the Minnesota Vikings because I think the draft's going to go Caleb Williams number 1, Jayden Daniels number 2, and then unfortunately, I think the New England Patriots are going to stick at the number 3 pick and draft Drake Maye. We'll get into all that and more on today's show, but first, I want to give you guys an updated look on our sub battle that we have going on with our Falcons Today channel. They challenged us after they signed Kirk Cousins during free agency, and I don't want to lose. We got a big-time lead on them right now. But if you guys are new here and haven't came across our channel before, hit that sub button, lock us in as your go-to Vikings YouTube channel. All right, guys, let's break it down. J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. Does it make sense? Well, right now, the odds makers out west put J.J. McCarthy as currently minus 300 to go top 5 in this year's draft. So I think, more likely than not, we're going to see 4 quarterbacks go in the top 5. So that would require the Minnesota Vikings to trade up with the Arizona Cardinals or the Los Angeles Chargers if they want to go get the Michigan quarterback. And you guys know this. I'm a big fan of his game. I think his game's going to really translate to the next level. And let's take a look at some of the advanced stats for McCarthy. And the part I want to highlight on the graphic on screen right now is on the far right of your screen, and it's his deep passes on 20-plus yards, because I do think there's an unfair narrative around the Michigan quarterback that he can't push the ball downfield. Well, if you're looking at the numbers, on deep passes, 20 yards and more, he was 25 of 46 this past season for over 700 yards and an incredible touchdown-interception ratio at 10-1. So you may be asking yourself, well, why J.J. McCarthy? What else, is kind of propelling him to go top 5 in this year's draft? Well, I got 5 reasons for you guys. Number 1, and you guys probably know this, all the kid does is win. Even dating back to middle school, when he was playing 7-on-7 football, he was winning national championships. He won 2 state championships in high school. Then he obviously went to Michigan and won a national championship there. I'm not saying quarterback wins are the end-all, be-all when evaluating a quarterback, but it matters. I think it kind of offers a sort of swagger around the quarterback and just a sort of moxie. And it kind of gets me to my second point here. I think he could be the face of a franchise because in his senior year of high school, he transferred into IMG, one of the biggest high schools and one of the biggest football programs in the entire country. Well, he handled that pretty damn well. And then also, he went to IMG. He handled that extremely well, where he went 8-0 and went undefeated, and then he carried it on at Michigan, one of the most prevalent football franchises in college football right now, and he went 27-1. So I don't think he would be feeling kind of any external pressure, even internal pressure to, win right away. I just think he's addicted to the process, and I just love everything he is about, hence why he has had an incredible record throughout dating back to his freshman year of high school. And now my third point. I think this has kind of gone underrated and underappreciated in his game. I think he can make every throw in the book. Every blade of grass on the football field, I think he has shown the ability to make every throw. My personal kind of gripe with him and the one con of his game that I've seen, everything's a fastball. He doesn't really layer the football too well, but I think with the Vikings coaching staff, Josh McCown, Kevin O'Connell, they can kind of get that side of his game, and then he can maybe take that next step at being just better at layering the football. But number 4 for me, he is a gutsy playmaker. And I go back to the first play of the Rose Bowl, Michigan, Alabama. J.J. McCarthy's run a boot out to the right. And instead of just throwing the football away, he almost throws an interception on the first play of the game. And obviously, that was a bad read. But I think it speaks to the playmaking ability that he has because in his own head, he has the confidence that he can make every throw in the book, whether it's on the run, in the pocket. Just kind of speaks to his moxie and is just his overall mantra that he has when playing the quarterback position. And then also, this might be my favorite reason. the potential with JJ. JJ just turned 21 years old in January. Guys like Michael Penix, Bo Nix, even a guy like Drake Maye and Caleb Williams, they're all at least one class above JJ. So if you're telling me if JJ would be able to sit an entire first season in the NFL, get his body right, put on more muscle, just develop his game even a little more, he can't be better than what those guys are right now. So when you're going back and you're evaluating his tape and you're watching some of his highlights, keep this in mind. This kid is only 21 years old when he's making most of these plays. And I know everybody likes to point at the 2 pick sixes that he threw against TCU back in the college football semifinal last season. Well, the kid turned 20 years old just a couple weeks before that game. He's still got a ton of big-time potential. And he's just overall got that it factor that I like. But I'll kick it to you guys. Would you trade up for J.J. McCarthy? Give me a T for trade or a P for pass down in the comment section. I'm going to make this a pinned comment on today's show. So if YouTube throws an ad break your way, sit back, let it play, and answer that question if you would trade up for J.J. McCarthy. So we were just talking about J.J. McCarthy possibly going top 5. Well, we got another report from Matt Miller of ESPN that may indicate that the Washington Commanders could take him number 2. And also this man right here, my favorite Vikings player of all time, Adrian Peterson. Does he want to return? We'll get to that here in a second. But first, I want to give a big-time shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. If you guys download the Prize Picks app, and when you're making your first deposit, if you use promo code CLNS, we'll match it up to $100. What is Prize Picks? It's daily fantasy sports made easy. Yes, football season is now over, but the action on the hardwood is now heating up with the playoffs just around the corner in the NBA and March Madness kicking off back tonight with the ladies' Final Four and the men's Final Four tomorrow. There's no shortage of plays you can make, and I actually got a lineup for the Timberwolves Suns game tonight, Friday night basketball action. I'm taking more on Anthony Edwards, 27.5 points, more on Devin Booker, 27.5 points as well. But maybe you guys want to fade my picks or ride my picks, but I encourage you guys do it at Prize Picks. Head to prizepicks.com/CLNS, and if you guys plug in promo code CLNS, we'll match it up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. It's Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports. I'll put that link for you guys in the comment section and description of today's show. So let's kick it to what Matt Miller had to say, kind of a bombshell report earlier on this morning, as he says enough sources around the NFL are whispering that McCarthy could very well be the second quarterback off the board. And listen, guys, all these reports that we've heard over the past couple of weeks, it could all be smokescreens. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows besides the actual members of these respective teams' front offices. But hey, we also got a report a couple weeks ago from Tom Pelissero that other NFL executives think that possibly Adam Peters, GM of the Commanders, really likes J.J. McCarthy, and maybe he could be going and selecting the Michigan quarterback. Nobody really knows, but we'll obviously just, have to wait and see. But now I want to kick it to Adrian Peterson because he was talking on a talk show early on this week, and he wants to return to the NFL. This is what he had to say. He says, "In my heart, I'm not finished yet. I still have passion and love for the game. The one thing I have told myself is if nothing happened this year, I will hang them up and move on, so we will see." Now, just taking a look back at what Adrian Peterson did in his NFL career, nothing short of just fantastic. I think he is no doubt a top 5 running back of all time. I mean, over 3,200 carries in his career, just under 15,000 yards, and 126 touchdowns for the man from Oklahoma. And my take when hearing this from AP, there is no doubt he is one of the most competitive athletes we have ever seen in our lifetime. Him tearing his ACL and then coming back just 9 months later to win the freaking MVP award in the National Football League, running over 2,000 yards, just 9 yards away from the all-time record. He's got that competitive juice. He's got that competitive fire. Very similar to guys like Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, and Michael Jordan. So it does make a whole lot of sense why AP would want to return. And, I say this, why not bring him back? Maybe it's just a thing where you sign him for one day and he can retire a Viking. I'm not saying sign him to the 53-man roster, but hey, for younger running backs like Ty Chandler, Kene Wangu in this group, bring AP maybe back for one day of training camp and just have him just be around the team. I think it would be pretty special. So I would bring AP back for maybe just one season, or maybe for one day, have him retire a Viking. But I want to close out today's show showing my personal favorite Vikings player of all time. Type his jersey number, type those 2 8s down in the comments section. Show Adrian Peterson some love. And if we get any more updates around the 2024 NFL Draft, we'll have a video for you guys ASAP. So hit that subscribe button, lock us in. Hey, I would really appreciate it if you guys made our channel here at Chat Sports your go-to Vikings channel. So see you guys next time. As always, Skol Vikes.